Hey there, beautiful earth angels. Elvia Rowe, founder of angelsteach.com, and welcome to February. I love this time of year. I mean, I don't love the cold, but I do love this time of year because we're now halfway between the beginning of winter and the beginning of spring. So I'm starting to feel it in the air, at least a little bit. So this month, I love playing with the angels, as many of you guys know, and doing things a little bit differently. We're going to start because I'm going to explain what's a little bit different here. And the reason I love to play with the angels is because by doing these different kinds of exercises, it helps you to see, my prayer anyway, is that it helps you to see how connected you already are and how present your angels are with you, even when you don't know it. So we're going to start by inviting you to choose number 1, number 2, or number 3. So which of those numbers are your angels guiding you to choose right now? Because I'm going to be doing and sharing readings for 3 different, for each of those numbers, and you'll see which of those has the message for you that you need right now. Now that you have the number that's coming forward to you, I have to share how these readings happened because they are a product of readings I did on Facebook Live on the full moon in January on the 28th. And so I'm using those same very cards. What I did prior to that, and I'm going to make this a little bit complicated, but I'm going to simplify it as best I can, is I invited folks in the Facebook group to choose a number 1 to 17. And those were the numbers my angels guided me to do. So the numbers that they chose in this order are number 7, number 14, and number 4. So actually 14 and 4 were tied. Number 7 was first. So what I then did was take those numbers and mapped them to the readings that happened. So in other words, the reading for number 7 is for those of you who chose number 1 because 7 was the top pick by everybody. So if you didn't follow along with that and you don't care, don't worry about it. If you want to know more and I didn't explain it well, just drop it in the comments here or in the Facebook group and I'm happy to elaborate. The point is that number 1 is for folks who on the Facebook group chose number 7. And I'm going to share that card with you in just a moment. I will say the 2 decks that I used for these readings. One is the Goddess Power Oracle by Colette Baron Reed, and the other is the Spirit of the Animals Oracle by Jody Bergsma. So there's 2 cards actually from the Goddess deck and 1 from the Spirit of the Animals. So let's begin. So for those of you who chose number 1, or in that Facebook poll, chose number 7, this was the card that came forward for the 7th reading I did during the full moon readings, and it's Lakshmi, a Hindu goddess of fortune and prosperity and luck and beauty, and just such a lovely, lovely image here. She's so much about wisdom and just self-confidence and focus. And the reading that came up actually for the woman who this card was chosen for was about self-confidence. And I think if you chose number 1, these things are your birthright. The prosperity, the luck, the wisdom, the complete package really is what I'm hearing. And there is an opportunity for 2 things actually came forward very strongly in this reading. A little bit more added on to it today. First thing is focus. You've got to make sure that you're focusing on your path. You know, there's probably a part of you that may be getting a little bit scattered. You might be getting a little bit over here, a little bit over there, a little bit over there, a little bit over there. And when we get into that space, and believe me, I know that space because that happens to me. 3rd line profile in human design, and I can be everywhere in a millisecond. And this is about an opportunity to learn how to focus, to pull that energy in and really direct with laser vision what it is that the manifestation of whatever it is that your soul desires. And always going to emphasize it's what the soul is looking to create, because whenever we create from the space of the ego, we're actually not in alignment, the whole alignment thing is about being in alignment with the soul. So opportunity number one and message with this card is really about being clear with your focus and being consistent and dedicated to that focus. Second piece, there is an element of confidence in this. So, working on your confidence, working on your courage, being bold with your expression, which is interesting. I didn't put this together when I did the readings, but we were literally swimming and bathed in the energy of the full moon in Leo. And Leo is so much about not just light, but courage and being bold with self-expression, and self-expression again from the soul. So this is an opportunity for you to just check in and make sure that you're doing whatever work is needed to build your courage muscle, your self-confidence, essentially. And then one other thing that is just, I think, part of this whole thing, and it's part of the self-confidence thing, is really surrounding yourself in beauty and making sure that your space feels good to you. There is a correlation between wealth, prosperity, and beauty, and I don't think it has to be expensive. It doesn't have to be elaborate. It's really about being tuned in to what feels beautiful to you, and what really nurtures and supports your idea and experience of beauty. So just asking my angels, are we good on that? And they're saying yes. For those of you who chose number 2, or in the poll chose number 4, this is the card that came forward for the 4th reading that I did, and it's the dragon. You're going to notice a theme here in a minute. So this dragon, and this is the core of the message that came forward for this this woman who was the 4th person I read for, and the message for now, for you number 2 folks, is very overlapping with that. Is that this dragon is poised, sitting on top of this crescent moon, and is preparing. There's definitely a very strong theme of in preparation mode. Not gestation, because gestation to me a lot of times can be about sort of being in this space of stillness. And while there is stillness here, there's more action really that's happening. And the action, yes, is within, but there's strategizing. There's listening to guidance. There is storing up energy. There is this... It sounds like a contradiction, but this is what I'm hearing from the angels. It's more this active resting, if you will. So it's with purpose, and it's not so much about restorative, but just about contemplating whatever it is next, and waiting for everything to be lined up before taking flight and taking action. So much of divine timing is about waiting for all those things to click into place for whatever your next step is, to make sure that when you take that next step, that all those things that you need are in place, as is the divine plan. So there's definitely action on the horizon, physical action, like taking flight kind of action here. But this is very much about just listening to the guidance and being very strategic with whatever your next move is meant to be. And the crescent moon, new beginnings. So this is definitely about taking flight with something that's a fairly sizable new beginning for you. And that's feeling complete too. So for you number 3 people, this is also for those of you who chose 14. Now, I didn't actually do 14 readings yesterday, so numerology, 14 is 5. So this is actually the card that came forward for the 5th person that I read on the full moon. It is for you number 3, folks. And I want to mention, and I didn't notice this until today, there's a beautiful synchronicity, 27 and 28, right? So that's just, to me, I look at that as a little wink of things. Everything's in order. Everything's in sequence. It's progressing as it's meant to progress. So for you number 3 people, love this card. Laitzi, the Chinese goddess, she is actually known as the Mother of Lightning, which I didn't know that until today, that particular term, that she's the Mother of Lightning. And I love that. And the message is that there is a gift, there's something that you have that is your natural born with gift that is so familiar to you, that is so obvious, that's right there in your hand. And because it's so familiar, because it's so obvious, because it's just something that you can do as easily as breathing, that you don't understand what a gift it is to the world. And this is really a call to action to begin to see it for what it is, first of all, and begin to offer it to the world as guided by your angels. Now, you'll notice little tiny dragon there. So there's a story these cards are telling together. And this dragon is so much about power, and it's rising up, and dragons are about power. And the imagery here makes me think of a dandelion, a dandelion that just, it spreads its seeds, it's just, and suddenly it's everywhere. And I think that's part of the message here, is that as you take inventory, and really that's your I guess next step, feels like, is to take inventory, take stock. What is it that is so natural to you, that you love doing it, it comes easily, people look for in you, and is there for you to offer the world, whatever that is. And it can be as simple as just being an incredible friend, or an amazing model to other parents, or an incredible teacher. Like, what it is going to be unique to you. But it's time for you to really recognize it as the soul gift that it is. And realize that as you breathe more life and more acknowledgement and more awareness of that gift that you brought into this lifetime, into that, you're going to feel that guidance really open up for, where to go next with it. I'm just having a side conversation, asking my angels, is there anybody who's sort of at a plateau and doesn't need to stretch this? And they're saying no. So if you chose 3 and you're hearing this message, you will be receiving guidance to take this gift to a new level as you begin to see it for what it is. And and the card is revelation. So yes, this is revelation. So with that, thank you for joining me here today. Please be sure to like and comment on this video as you are inspired to do so. Share it with your like-minded friends, and come on over to angelsteach.com and see what we've got going on over there. So much love. Stay warm, be happy, be kind, be blessed. I love you.